first downside of this is that this piece of information of this vector, which is now even a little bit larger than before, needs to go to each of these tiles. So I need to send it to multiple places. Before, I only need to send this smaller strip to one of these HDFS points. Okay, now I need to send it to multiple places. But the advantage is when I look at this aggregation here, I'm doing larger amount of this row is being combined together before it's being shuffled off. And so think of this tile as being about the same space as each one of these strips. So I may be getting a fair amount more of data along here, and this is going to help more in this space. Right? One of the other problems that this solved, which I didn't mention, maybe I alluded to, is that for most of these web pages, they only have like 20 links on them. But some web pages, which is a column here, maybe one of these aggregator web pages, which has tons of links. Right? So some of these web pages are just full of links. They're indexes to a bunch of other stuff. They're going to have a lot more stuff to process here. Now I've broken that up in these tiles as well. So if I do this, it's going to tend to aggregate it much better. Can you think of some other way that this is going to be effective? And I kind of illustrated this in the picture here. So think of if I took all web pages and I sorted them by their domain name. Okay, so I sorted them by if I wrote out the actual HTTP kind of address and I sorted those. So think of all of the web pages that were started www.cs.utah.edu. Right? These would all be in the same sorted order. Right? So maybe these correspond with a bunch of these rows right next to each other. Right? So you're going to have the home page, you're going to have the page for maybe the next one is you have this one, then there's a page for like the big data program, and so forth. So for those watching at home, this is a shameless plug. You should go to this webpage if you can read my handwriting. It was a very poorly done shameless plug. You can't read it. Okay. You get the picture, right? So these are right next to each other, and these pages are probably going to link to similar things. Right? And they're probably so the similar things they link to will be other pages over here. So I'm probably going to have blocks that look like this, which are completely empty. Which for this column, and maybe even this whole kind of part of the input vector Qi, have nothing in there. That's not going to happen over there. I'm not going to have any empty stripes, or unless web pages that have no links, you can kind of ignore those in certain ways. But here, I'm more likely to have entire parts of the matrix which are empty, which I don't have to do anything about. And so this will really simplify this speed up the competition as well. I'm going to be able to kind of ignore parts of this, and if I'm a little bit more careful how I organize my data, I can kind of get rid of parts of the matrix I don't process anymore. Remember, P was incredibly sparse. Maybe 1 billion web pages and on average 20 links per thing. So I'm going to have a lot of these open blocks. And this will also save a lot. Okay, so the point is that MapReduce is this kind of framework that allows you to do these large-scale kind of computations in parallel very easily. But you need to think a little bit about how you organize this stuff. So as Nitin asked, can you directly translate a program into MapReduce? Well, you don't want to do that. You kind of want to rethink how you organize these very simple MapReduce notes and how you organize your data. And that'll make a big difference in how fast it goes. So feel free to talk to me about the posters. If you're not planning to make a poster, I should have said this, if you're not planning to make a poster through the U, have them printed to us. And maybe if you are and you ask nicely, I'll maybe extend the deadline until my office hours on Thursday, so you can come talk to me if that's better, or you want to go through more iterations. But try and get them in by Wednesday. If not, you can come talk to me on Thursday if you send me a note ahead of time.